Hello, this is Mr. Alvey. Today I'm going to teach you about the clone stamp tool and the history brush tool. Just a little activity for your assignment. You're going to take a nice lonely looking stadium, bunch of empty seats, and some lonely people and a bunch of empty seats, and you're going to fill the seats. So we're going to first start with the clone stamp tool. So what this tool does is you can choose other parts of the image and use that as your brush and paint using the pixels from the actual image. So like the healing tools that we saw before when we were removing the pimples, with the healing brush, we have to set an anchor in the page where we want to be able to paint from. So what I'm going to do, you can see I got a nice big brush. You can change the brush anytime with the bracket keys next to the P. I'm going to set, I'll make it kind of smallish. I'm going to hold down the Option key. You can notice it turns into like a circular crosshair. This is how I set my anchor for how I'm going to paint. So I'm going to put my anchor right on this lady's head, right there, bam. Okay. Now the cool thing is, if I make my brush bigger, I get a preview of where the anchor is. And so I'm going to move over, maybe over here, and I'm going to line up the chairs from the preview. I'm going to line that up. Okay, maybe shrink the brush down, and then I'm going to start painting over here, and it's going to use the pixels from the right side of the picture while I'm painting on the left. And if I lined it up right, since it's a repetitive picture, it's going to line up just with those chairs. And look, they've got some buddies. Now there's twice as many people in the stands. But it's a little wonky down by their feet. So if you want to undo or fix up the edges, this is where the history brush comes in. The history brush will let you kind of unpaint whatever had just happened. So it just remembers the previous state of the picture, and you can kind of use that to unpaint. So it's like a paintbrush for undo. Go back to the clone stamp. We can paint that on. All right. And so you can fill the stadium with all these red people. I don't know what team they're rooting for, but you could do this again. Let's see it again. So you take the clone stamp, set an anchor. Maybe I'll anchor it on the guy's head this time. I like to make my brush big so I can see the preview. Maybe we got to get somebody sitting right up here. And you can paint them right on. You can go backwards using the history brush. Undo anything around it that might be a little weird. And see if you can fill the stadium in that way. I give you a couple other options that might be fun. See if you can take a couple of them and fill them up. Let's try this image. Let's see how it works over here. Command plus to zoom in, Command minus to zoom out. Let's see if we can get this whole family in another row. So go to the clone stamp tool. Hold down Option to set the anchor. Let's anchor it on this little guy. We'll come up, line it up right there, start painting. Whee! We could fill the stands quickly now. Use the history brush for any cleanup you might need. Okay, now you're ready to work for San Francisco to make it seem like they have more fans. So for this assignment, pick 2 of those files and fill the stadiums. If you really wanted to, you could get people from this stadium into the other one, but the chairs don't match. Let's try it just for fun. Just to demonstrate. With the clone stamp, you can set an anchor in one image. Look at this grumpy looking guy. Change pictures, and you can paint from another image. But he's a little smallish. Whoa. So that didn't really match up. But you can use the clone stamp from any image into another image. Undo. All right. So go ahead and try out the clone stamp tool and the history brush.